Hey everyone, it's Becca here from the Digital Project Manager. Today, I wanted to share with you 3 key pieces of advice from experienced PMs for how you can go from project manager to project leader. Let's jump in. Tip number 1 is to learn to lead teams, not individuals. This means taking a step back to look at the greater picture for how individual members of a project team are delivering outcomes. From there, you'll be able to identify ways to adapt and grow in order to better deliver the desired results.
If you're a senior PM and you have not yet focused on the team's ability to work on outcomes, this is the next challenge. Now, our organizations are very focused on individuals, right? It's all about resource efficiency. But the more the senior PM thinks in flow efficiency, where the team is a unit of work, the more likely they will get the outcomes that the organization desires.
So really make sure that you understand the overall process for your project, because that'll allow you to see ways that you can collaborate better and improve the overall workflow for your team. Tip number 2 is to improve your confidence with the help of your peers and colleagues. You might have a lot of project management experience, but this doesn't always translate directly to confidence. So one thing Patrice Embry suggested for how you can become a more confident project leader is to ask a peer or colleague to be a sounding board.
I think a lot of senior project managers don't necessarily believe that they're senior yet. So maybe they're still thinking like a junior person. I can't really assert my leadership yet because I'm not there yet, or I don't feel confident enough yet. If you find yourself in that boat, you can always, ask a peer or a colleague either at your company or somewhere else to just say like, listen, I want to give you a rundown on what's going on in my project. And I just want to feel more comfortable in what I'm saying. And I just want you to listen to me and listen to see if there's anything that I'm saying that doesn't make any sense. You can do that if that's one of the things that you're worried about. And if you feel like you can't be an effective leader because you don't have enough information, make sure you know where to find the information. You just need to kind of think to yourself, what do I need to really feel like I'm completely confident in how to make this project work, wherever that deficiency is. Figure out a way to handle that. And there's so many people, so many resources that can help you, at any stage of trying to understand where you fit in project leadership, that, you might be inundated with different things that you can do and try. But knowing that there's a deficiency somewhere and not being too hung up on the fact that maybe there's a deficiency there is the best way for you to be able to address that and get yourself into a position where you no longer have to worry about that part of things.
Another way to get peer support is through our DPM membership community, where we have over 1,000 members talking about PM processes and sharing their experiences for how they've developed and grown as project leaders. If you want to join the conversation, you can check out the link below. Tip number 3 is to develop your self-awareness. And this is going to require digging deep, looking at yourself in the mirror, and really asking yourself, how am I showing up in the world? How am I coming across to others?
How are people around me receiving, seeing, and understanding me? And that has been like a rocket ride from a leadership perspective. And one of the things that I got out of the conscious leadership mix was something that I keep on my desk. And I'll read it to you all. I am a leader who is authentic and compassionate in my actions by being curious, vulnerable, and embracing integrity. I foster this by creating an environment championing safety, respect, and personal/professional development. So what this does for me is it's a visual reminder of who and what I am trying to be as a leader. And this was a statement I gave a few years ago. It may evolve or change over time. But the intriguing part is the more I go into this work, not only the more that I get out of it, but the more that I'm able to show up and support others. A lot of the time, project managers will be looked at as armchair therapists. Well, I've actually gone in and developed some of those skills to the point that if someone is struggling or having a bad day, I can actually go in and do some off-the-cuff coaching for them. And the important part about that as project managers, the more importance and value our teams find in us, the more it furthers us as a discipline and professionality. The world that we're sitting in today is volatile, it's uncertain, and it's constantly challenging. Project management is one of the disciplines that can be looked at as, well, maybe this would go by the wayside. Leadership, though, The more that we can show we are leaders on the project, the more that people will look to us and the more that people will realize we're a critical skill set. I'm sure there's many people out there that will have many arguments for why we are, but I'll go back to tying it to leadership and the standpoint that the more we can show up on a project as someone who can help facilitate the hard decisions, as someone who can sit in the fire, then it provides an extreme amount of value for the team, because then they can put down the worry, they can feel safe bringing things up. They can do all the things on a dynamic team that we're striving for.
That was a lot of information, but I've got you covered here with a quick recap. Tip number 1 for how to develop as a project leader is to focus on leading teams, not individuals. Tip number 2 is to grow your confidence. And tip number 3 is to develop your self-awareness. If you have a tip that's worked for you, be sure to share it in the comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Until next time, thanks for watching.